the fiscal policies have a very important role in green economy transition because it's from taxes, charges on environment resources, fees, subsidies and incentives that governments generate revenue that support national development. Concurrently, the government is able to use the revenues to spur development. And I find fiscal policies very, very useful in the sense that if we are able to provide tax incentives to the private sector, for example, they will be able to support the government's efforts in addressing national development challenges, for example, creating jobs, eradicating poverty, ensuring that we restore our environment and also sustain our natural capital in a state that will benefit the current and the future generations. There are several research gaps that I see currently, and that's simply because the concept of green economy is fairly new in the context in which it is being used now to rally in governments and the global community to focus on development that does not harm the environment. In other words, decoupling environment from development. And the research gap I see is the concerns that we have about transitioning to a green economy, which means maybe changing technology, which presumably makes the production and consumption systems less labor intensive and therefore can lead to loss of jobs. So one of the questions we could be asking ourselves, how effective are fiscal policies in ensuring that the transitioning to a green economy does not affect the labor market, does not affect availability of jobs, and so on. The other gap I see is our knowledge of the distributional impact of the fiscal policies. We are desiring that we have equity in the use of natural capital, equity in the use of technologies and innovations that ensures that we don't contribute to climate change, then we mitigate against climate change. At the same time, we support adaptation. And therefore, how effective are these policies in ensuring that even when the government's good intentions are there to spur development, that the benefits are accrued to who I call the bottom line consumers, the poorest of the poor in our society. I also see gap in understanding how these policies work in the context of gender balance of roles and responsibilities in our societies. Transitioning to a green economy means taking up new technologies, and some of these technologies are not contextualized in the context of differences in gender roles in terms of even use of the equipment. We can have, for example, a hoe or a plow that is very effective in land preparation to improve food production. But when we look at Africa, most of the small-scale farmers are women. Are we able to come up with the innovations that will support the full engagement of women as we continue to change our consumption production systems? And when we come to encouraging the private sector to transition to a green economy, a number of countries, for example, Kenya, we are using policies like providing tax rebates or tax exemption on imports that are environment friendly. However, are the benefits accruing from such provisions trickling down to the bottom line consumers? How are such favorable policies at the industrial scale translating to price friendliness for the bottom line consumers? We really need to be sensitive to this kind of structure. So what I'm seeing is we need a vertical analysis of benefits of transitioning to a green economy, right from the industrial scale and also at the very, very smallest scale of our units of production and consumption. In Kenya, we are really promoting resource efficiency, cleaner production, also ensuring that less waste is disposed to the environment. And this actually is even spurring more jobs, because we are finding, opportunities in transitioning to a green economy through creation of jobs in a value chain context in any production consumption system.